You know, fans, fellow wrestling fans, marks, whatever you want to be called, 24 hours ago, one of the most rumored cities to host WrestleMania, one of the most rumored and sometimes in the eyes of many most unlikely cities to host WrestleMania, has been granted its wish. That's right. East Rutherford, New Jersey. I'm sorry if I pronounced your city's name wrong. But East Rutherford, New Jersey is going to be hosting WrestleMania at MetLife Stadium. Home, co-home, if you will, to the Giants and the Jets. Now obviously MetLife Stadium must be getting a lot of attention since it's been recently opened in 2010, due to the fact that that after WrestleMania, the next big event to go there will be the Super Bowl. Now, this is kind of putting things in perspective. Now, both events are going to be taking place during a time when it's still considered somewhat cold in those areas. Now, what that means, folks, is the Super Bowl in 2014 is going to be played in February. So apparently, depending on weather, it's going to be very cold. Now, unless the people that created and built MetLife Stadium has some kind of inside ventilation that keeps everything warm, then I'm somewhat predicting a very cold, semi-cold, maybe lukewarm Super Bowl weather in 2014. Now, another thing though, folks, is WrestleMania. WrestleMania usually is scheduled for late March, early April, for a time to be taking place, for basically the date and area to take place in. The question is, what date? Now I haven't read up on the date yet. All we know is WrestleMania is going to be there. But we don't know what the date is. We don't know what time. We don't know the date specifically just yet. If it's the first Sunday in April, that would be excusable because around that time, even in the East Coast, things start to get a little better. I know some people would think, well, Brian, that's not necessarily true. And you're right, it isn't. Then again, they could have it on the last Sunday of March. Or they could do something a little smarter and try to hold it at least maybe in the second week of April. Now what does that mean? Basically make sure the weather's nice enough in April to at least hold the event. Now I know a lot of people were hoping in Dallas that Cowboy Stadium would get it. That didn't happen. I know people in Toronto wanted WrestleMania. That didn't happen. So now, WrestleMania is going to be at MetLife Stadium. And again, I understand a lot of fans criticize the fact that WrestleMania is going to be there due to the fact that depending on the date that it's set on, that it will be taking place on, the weather will be a little bitter, a little cold. Let me explain something. Around this time, I don't live on the East Coast, but from what I've seen in recent years, when you get on that East Coast, it does get cold, but it also gets warm. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying there's no way it's going to work. They're going to have to probably put it in an arena or something. WWE has a way of making things work. And if I know, as a wrestling fan, from what I've seen in the past what could be done, they'll figure out a way. When they had WrestleMania 24 in the Citrus Bowl, at the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, what happened? It rained a little bit, but they still went through it. Was it cold? No, but it rained. The thing is, people always find ways to make sure things don't get ruined. Now, unless MetLife Stadium within the next year or so decides, guess what, we're going to add a dome to the top of the stadium, then that's fine. But I think they're going to find a way to make sure everything, even weather, they're going to basically be prepared, weather prepared for this situation. I believe it's going to go off without a hitch, and I don't think it's going to be that bad because, like I said, if it was that bad, if weather was a problem at times, they wouldn't have had WrestleMania 24 go on its schedule because of the rain coming down. Believe me, if they can find a way to keep the rain off of the superstars with a little tent or something like that, then there's no doubt they'll be able to probably find a way to isolate the warmth. In other words, keep things warm and hot, if you will, for the superstars to participate in. I mean, heck, do you not recall Tribute to the Troops? When they went over to Afghanistan, they went over to Iraq or wherever, they have commented on the fact that those areas have been cold, but they competed. I know what you're thinking, well, what if it snows? Hey, it'll be the first WrestleMania in the snow. That's not a big problem. The truth is, folks, cold and bitterness is not going to be that big of a problem. As long as it's nice out, pray it will be for them, then they'll be okay because the sun comes down on the mat, it'll warm things up. Basically, folks, the truth is this. The truth is this. Yeah, we may not like the idea that MetLife Stadium is going to get WrestleMania. Yeah, well, we may be concerned at the fact that it might be cold, it might snow, and all that. But you know what? If they can wrestle in the rain, and they can wrestle in cold weather, even though it looks nice, like it looks nice out here today, even if they can do that, like in Afghanistan and all that, where they say it was cold, then they could do it here. There's no doubt about it, folks. So all I'm saying is, yeah, it's an unusual pick. It's a very unlikely pick that has been chosen for a WrestleMania site. But you know what? Maybe they know something we don't. So my thoughts are, let's just see what happens. And I congratulate the citizens of the East Rutherford, New Jersey, for getting WrestleMania. And again, let's just see what happens and what takes place at MetLife Stadium next year as they build to that. So, till then, take care.